Welcome back to a Beekeeper's Diary podcast. We are on the 7th of September, midday, back standing in the field, gazing out across the fields and towards the bees, safely out of range, hopefully. I've got my hood off yet again, so let's see if I get... Oh, no, that was a wasp. See if I get investigated by a bee again and have to do an emergency hood replacement. I didn't do a podcast last week. I just did a quick inspection and replaced the entrance block, so I've got an adjustable entrance that I can make larger and smaller to help them defend against wasps. So I put that in last week, which if you look at my beekeeping Instagram, Beekeeper's Diary podcast, if you look on there's some funny footage of me wandering up to the hive, anticipating a very quiet interaction, and then the bees objecting in the strongest possible terms. And I was reflecting how it's quite popular on YouTube and Instagram for people to go and inspect their bees, no gloves, no protective equipment, which generally speaking you will get away with most of the year, maybe for a couple of seasons, but every now and then the bees will let you know that they are a powerful force when they choose to be. And so my bees I could have probably bee kept all year this year without equipment, but last week, as soon as I opened the front of the hive, boom, they were out. They were stinging my microphone to the extent you couldn't hear anything I was saying. They were trying to find the weak spot in all my beekeeping equipment around the wrists, and they would go for your ankles as well. They will find a weak spot, and if there is one, they'll get you. So you just never know. And they've been kittens all year, and then I'm back today, absolutely fine. I wouldn't have needed any equipment. They're back to being docile bees again. You just never know when something could go wrong. And it's very interesting. You know when the bees are really upset with you, because you can smell, it smells like bananas. They release a pheromone and you get that banana smell. I mean, you'll already know the bees aren't happy, but you get that banana smell as well. Boy, oh boy. But I didn't get any stings. My equipment held up. Didn't squash many bees, because they just get on top of everything. They just get in the way of everything you're trying to do, and you end up squishing a few bees by accident sometimes. But we're okay. Managed to keep calm. Negotiated with them and carried on. They didn't listen to me, but it's the effort that counts. So I've come back this week, and now we are going to start the second week of September. I'm going to start feeding the bees up properly. I hefted the hive last week. It was quite heavy. Come back this week, it's lost weight again, so I'm going to start feeding earnestly from now on. Check the Varroa tray. There's a lovely hawker dragonfly patrolling along this hedge line I'm standing in front of me. It's still nice to see them about. He or she'll probably nick the odd bee, I imagine. I always think to myself, what if these hawker dragonflies were 6 foot? It'd be the most terrifying creature known to man, swooping down from the hedgerows and biting your head off. I've got distracted, sorry. Yeah, so Varroa tray, I've checked out. There's still some Varroa drop from the treatment. There's a couple more weeks for that. Going to keep the feeding. I'll start feeding a little bit more next week. I checked the middle of the hive. The queen is still here. All is good, because I was wondering if they were so ratty because they were queenless, but she's still there and they're back to normal. I was watching one of Richard Knowles' videos. You've probably seen him. I think it's Beekeeping in Brittany Beekeeping. He's one of the most popular beekeeping YouTubers, and he's been trialling this InstaVap device, which you can sublimate oxalic acid straight into your hive. You don't have to hook them up to a car battery like you used to anymore. You can just use your drill battery that you'd use for your household drill, something like that, and it will keep the plates, the mechanics of the device up to temperature, so the oxalic acid is properly sublimated. And yeah, it looks a mean bit of kit, but for someone like myself who's only got a few hives at best, they're about £300-400, so I'm going to have to sell a lot of honey to make that effective. Then I suppose if you weigh the cost of having to replace your bees versus that, it's probably equivalent. Might have to be a long-term investment, something like that, or go halves with someone maybe. I have tried in the past, there's been sort of a plate, a wand that you can attach to a battery, but it was a bit hit and miss, and I didn't like putting the hot wand into the hive for fear of hurting bees or killing the queen. But this device, there's even a polyhive attachment, so you can insert it through the entrance without any fear of melting your polyhive as well, so it looks quite effective. So I should keep my eye out for those sort of products, because they are typically quite effective. Other than that, all is good. Definitely no swallows in the air, no swifts in the air, very little bird song. I can hear a crow, there's been magpies, there's been a buzzard floating about. The crickets are still singing, but when I keep talking to people about hearing the crickets, it seems like I'm the only person that can hear it, so either I'm imagining it or my hearing is quite good, I don't know. There's a very strange squeaking sound over there. I hope it's someone's putting the brakes on their bicycle maybe, otherwise I don't know what the hell that is. Anyway, I'm rambling again. So thank you for listening. Thank you to all the new listeners. Beekeeper's Diary podcast on Instagram if you want to see any funny clips of me being harassed by a load of bees. No videos this week. I forgot everything to take video. And beekeepersdiarypodcast.com for links. And see you next week.